where they have the best of pizza every day made by me, Luigi.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to our WrestleMania prediction show. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Mr. B-Roll.
How we doing out there, world?
We are doing amazing because it's the most wonderful time of year. It is WrestleMania is upon us. The Showcase of Immortals is here. The grandest stage of them all, the granddaddy of them all of it. It is upon us, and we are so freaking excited to come to you tonight and give you our thoughts on this year's WrestleMania. And, of course, we're not alone, are we, Mr. B-Roll?
No, we are not. We are joined by some of the finest and the brightest minds of Wrestle Talk. We are joined, making her triumphant return. I believe she's been on prediction shows. I believe she's popped up just about everywhere. It is your tribal queen of Wrestle Talk, Miss Breigh Stout.
Oh, happy to be here.
And then making his Cold TV debut, Mr. Pauly Barrels.
Oh my goodness, what's up, y'all? Oh, wait a minute, before we move on, who picked the Richard Simmons workout music as the intro? Like,
well,
who was on that? Who was on that? Was that XLJ? Was that you, dog?
That was me.
That would be this guy over here.
Do you have the Richard Simmons shorts on too? Can't see camera from the waist down, dog. Everything from the waist down doesn't matter. Get Richard Simmons music going on here.
Hey, speaking of dress, how about the Wrestle Talk drip gob himself, Hambone, looking mighty fine tonight, my friend?
What's up, you fucking marks? Thanks for having me back again. Let's talk some WrestleMania.
Let's go. And last but certainly not least, we've got the one, the only, the American Queen Dream, Husky Road.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I said come. Anyways, oh my goodness, I am so excited for WrestleMania. How excited are you guys? How are you all for WrestleMania this year?
It's going to be a fun one.
It's like a kid at Christmas time.
I think they did a great job with several of the storylines. I think that this was, one of the WrestleManias where they drug out a lot of storylines from, 6 months ago, and we're still going, which I really like that they didn't just pop up, like, other than a couple matches, which we'll get to, but they didn't just pop up and be like, it's a thing we're going to do. And I'm like, they gave us some time to, like, really get invested and stuff. And
yeah,
I'm glad
most of them.
For the most part. I mean, you're going to have a couple. Well, you got a couple that are thrown in there, but the majority of the main matches all have like a rhyme and reason behind it. And I think it's interesting too to look at this because I mean, hell, going into this 3 or 4 months ago, it was all like, oh, Rock Roman. I gotta be honest with you, I am way happier that we're getting this card instead of a Rock Roman headline show. I mean, I want to see that matchup someday, but I'm so much more excited for this year's WrestleMania. But man, this is going to be one hell of an event, and I cannot wait for Saturday and Sunday. But hey, let's get right into it, and let's talk about WrestleMania. So first and foremost, let's just get the basic stuff out of the way. Let's talk about this one. Oh boy, the Fatal 4-Way. Or what are they deeming this? The WrestleMania Showcase?
It's a showcase
WrestleMania match. Women's Showcase match.
Wow.
What the fuck is that?
It is the AKA we have to get you on the card.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Everybody gets WrestleMania payday.
These people have WrestleMania paydays built into their contracts, and they got to do something. So, and realistically, let's be honest, this is also them establishing Ronda and Shayna as a women's tag team to take the tag titles. It's the only reason this match exists. They're going to 3-on-1 squash everyone.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, I was like, wow, this is Ronda's match at WrestleMania this year. It's kind of surprising, but I mean, it could be worse, I suppose. But yeah, I agree with you, Paulie. I mean, this is clearly going to be Ronda and Shayna just dominate. I am happy to see Chelsea Green on WrestleMania, though. I've really been enjoying her work lately on Monday Night Raw. Not really like huge fan of her with Sonya, but I don't care. Whatever. As long as we're getting Chelsea Green on Raw, I'm good. Or on WrestleMania, I'm good with it.
Dude, her Karen character is
Fire.
Picasso.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it just continues to establish the character to you more of like basically she can't work with anyone.
Right.
Right.
That's
basically,
true.
I think that's the direction they're going. But
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would agree. All these other teams are seem like they're just kind of thrown together a little bit.
Yeah, when the hell did Shotzi and Natalia and Liv and Raquel start teaming? Like, that's kind of new to me.
They just threw all these teams together.
Yeah, no, Shotzi and Natalia was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
This match like really shows just how badly booked the women's division is in WWE, especially the tag team division.
Oh, yeah.
And also, when it comes to Chelsea Green, she blocked me on Twitter years ago, so I'm not a fan of her anymore.
What did you do to Chelsea Green, Hambone?
What's that?
What did you do to Chelsea Green,
Karen?
So this was when she was in TNA, and I don't know if you know her career in TNA, but she was doing like a crazy gimmick. I've lost my mind.
Yeah. There was Chelsea Green we ever got.
There was an awful segment where she married the Knockouts title. It's one of the worst segments I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
And
I remember that segment.
And I mentioned how bad it was, and she took it personally. And even though I went back and forth with her and said, "Hey, this was not a personal shot at you. I think you're actually very talented. I just think that this was a terrible segment, terrible writing, and it was just bad." And she just went off on me and then blocked me. So the hell with her.
Well,
I'm gonna pull back the curtain here. I'm literally going to look right now to see if I'm blocked because I had a similar interaction over.
Yeah, I feel like this Karen character, not much of a character.
Okay, I'm still good.
Okay. Well, I think we're all in agreement. This is probably all going to be Ronda and Shayna's like showcase, right?
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. All right, let's move on next to another showcase match. Hooray! Okay, we have got the Street Profits going against the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, and Ricochet and an asshole. There, I said it.
As Haven Rain on TikTok calls them big bald and small bald.
Big ball and small ball. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. So I will say this: the team of Ricochet and Braun Strowman actually hasn't been. It's kind of been interesting to see. I mean, I think obviously they were paired together, kind of as a punishment, kind of for Braun with all the shit he was saying about like high flyers and stuff. But
right,
it's not bad. But I don't know. This one, you've got some pretty talented guys in this one. I mean, I'm not super stoked about it, but I think it'll be a fun match nonetheless.
So wait a minute. Let's be honest. Alpha Academy overblown. They just exist because people think they're fun, and that's it. They're not going to win. The Viking Raiders need to go back to NXT. They're not going to do anything on the main roster. It takes you down to the Street Profits and Braun and Ricochet, and like, don't get it twisted. Braun and Ricochet's tag team finisher, the senton off of Braun's shoulders, is the funniest shit I've seen in tag ever, and they need to keep doing it. And I love it. I love every bit of it. And we're realistically going to get Montez Ford as a singles competitor more than we're going to get the Street Profits. So this is like this whole match can just be broken down to like, the only team on this whole thing they want to push is Braun and Ricochet.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Braun and Ricochet win this too, because I agree that I think that both Alpha Academy and probably also the Street Profits are going to break up after WrestleMania or very soon after.
Yeah,
Yep.
rumor has it that Chad Gable is supposed to be in line for a push, so that'll be interesting to see.
As he should be.
And
He should.
Otis is going to be the star of Maximum Male
Otis.
Models.
He's gonna become Otis.
Yes.
He is going to be.
Otis.
It's literally Chris Farley Chippendale skit.
I was literally
Brought
gonna
back.
say he's just gonna be Chris Farley from Chippendales on every SmackDown, and I am here
So
for all of it, every bit of it,
my money.
Yeah.
all of my money. You can
All of
have it.
Yeah, it's all you got to do. Now, I've had an interesting theory about this whole Otis character, right? I believe I said it on Pro Wrestling 60, I think maybe, but which is available now over on Cold TV. Plug, cheap plug right there. But I did say, what if this leads to Mandy Rose's return? She's like, nuh-uh, this is my man.
She's making
And we
way
get-
too much money on that site.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
she's coming
no
back.
way, no way, no how.
But I am going to go against the grain here. I actually think the Viking Raiders
You and
may
I
win this.
see. This is why we're best friends, because I am in agreement. I'm going to go with the Viking Raiders as well. I think they're I like the Viking Raiders. I want to see them get pushed. So maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm going with them.
Maybe
So,
we're
wait,
listening to
okay.
our hearts.
So I don't hate it, but let's here's what you got to think about, right? Why does it, and not because you want it to happen, why does it make sense for the
Viking
WWE
Raiders to win?
take the teams that they have that are in the tag title picture and put them in with those teams?
I mean, I think it makes complete sense for the Viking Raiders to win.
Agreed. Yeah, because it makes them more of a legit challengers.
And well, not only that, but let's be honest, and we're jumping ahead some matches here, but more than likely, KO and Sammy are walking out of WrestleMania with those tag titles, and they're going to need a tag team to beat.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
That's a valid point.
Right.
And the Viking Raiders are a
Raiders.
tag team that they could beat.
They're big, they're scary. They got the whole Valhalla thing going, which I mean I enjoy, and
I can see that.
I mean I guess what I'm hoping for is I feel like the tools are there, and this win maybe is just like a rocket to propel them up, and then hopefully we end up we're here, we end up somewhere, in between at the end of it all.
So there you have it. So I think we're kind of 50-50. Or Breigh, who did you think was going to win this?
No, I didn't go, but I
haven't either.
at first, like with the way the banner was, I thought it was like 4 versus 4 until I saw the bottom where it was like the tag teams versus each tag team. I don't really care about this, but I'm just gonna pick the Street Profits.
There you go.
Yeah, I can.
Wait a minute. I think she had the best take out of all of us. We can sit here and argue about who should win this match all we want. This match doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Let's
go.
Yeah.
I genuinely could care less. I'm probably going to eat an edible and just dick around in my house while this match is going on. So
Yep.
I will probably say I'll go Viking Raiders too, because that would be an interesting pick.
I will say, though, that while none of us may actually care about this match, I do think that it'll be a good match, because I found the 8-man tag on Raw to be an extremely fun, entertaining match. So I don't see why this one wouldn't be. Whether we care about it or not, I still think it'll be a fun match.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those scenarios too where it's like they know they're on the WrestleMania card, but they're going to want to impress and go all out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what'll happen in this one. So, but that's kind of your throwaway match. Ah, shit. Never mind. Okay, let's
5
talk about
stars. I'm calling it now. 5-star match. Brock does a shooting star and nails it.
I will mark the fuck out if that happens. I will literally jump out of my seat. But yes, we're getting Brock Lesnar against Vince McMahon's Nigerian dreamboat, Omos.
Sorry, I'm just sitting there after Husky made his edible comment. He's just gonna be sitting there. Say this comes right after that showcase match, right? And so he's gonna be like, "Am I still?
Dreaming.
Those weren't that good.
Those weren't that strong. Did he just do a star press?
He just ate a brownie, not the whole pan. All right, just one.
I didn't go deep into those murky waters. All right.
You may have to though to get through this one. Shit. So I don't know. Like, we all thought the rumor seems to be like, okay, maybe Vince booked one match on this card and this is it. I don't know if that's truly the case. I don't think
Not
it
at
is.
all.
I think it's just a matter of like. So my understanding was originally they were talking Lesnar and Bray Wyatt, and apparently apparently Brock didn't really want to work with Bray. I don't know if that's truly the case or not, but hey,
I can see that.
this is the match we're getting. So,
Oh,
I don't know. It could be worse. It could be the Great Khali against Omos, right?
Don't give them any ideas.
All right. Listen, at the end of the day, this match is designed for Brock to put Omos over as hard as possible. It's the only reason why this match exists.
Yeah, I don't think
Brock
that's
needs to make Omos look good.
And I have to
Right,
say, the
and-
build to this, Lesnar has done an impressive job, like making Omos look like a serious challenger.
Oh yeah. Well, and Lesnar's one of the safest workers in wrestling right now. And if you want a safe worker who needs to work against a big guy, your other safe worker is Corbin, maybe. And I don't see Corbin sizing up against Omos. So if you need a safe worker to step in and try to push Omos, because that's Brock doesn't need pushed, in any way, shape, or form. Omos is the guy that needs to push. Brock can do it, and he's the guy that can work with Omos. Is it going to work? I don't think so. I don't think the match makes 100% sense. I think that Brock will win in a no finish, like a DQ or a count out or something. So it doesn't hurt Omos. I don't think you're willing to give Omos a straight, clean victory over Lesnar at Mania. I don't think that makes sense. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I
talk about matches I don't care about. Here you go. This is the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, like I say, it's okay. Brock Lesnar's on the card. Yippee! He's gonna take a 7-foot Nigerian to Suplex City. Okay, that's gonna be kind of fun, I guess, for the first minute.
Yeah,
but definitely not gonna be a long one. I don't think. I mean, 5 minutes or less, I would say.
No, this will be 8 to 10. This will be 8 to 10.
I compare this match much to the trailer of an action movie, in that. In the action, and in a trailer for an action movie, you see all the best stuff, and then the rest of it just kind of sucks. That's what this match is. This match is so Brock Lesnar can give Omos an F5, and the rest of it is going to be shit. And really, it doesn't even matter, because you can talk about putting Omos over, but at the end of the day, he could beat Brock clean, and he still wouldn't be over, because giants don't work in wrestling, and he'll be gone within a year.
Agree. I couldn't have said it better myself, sir.
Yeah.
This will be the intro to night 2, so they get the pop for Brock's entrance at WrestleMania. This will be the opening match of night 2, and it'll get the crowd hyped up for the rest of the matches. And that's all it's there for.
Ah, interesting. So.
I personally just really would much rather have seen Brock work with somebody who was going to be around for a while. There was the rumor for a while that it was going to be Brock versus Gunther, and I would have fucking loved that. This match could happen at any fucking pay-per-view, and it'd have the same effect as it's going to have here at WrestleMania, which is no effect. You could have Brock F5 Omos anywhere, on any show. Why has he got to be on the biggest show of the year when you could have him working with somebody who's going to be around for a while who could really benefit from this spot with Brock?
Yeah,
but what do I know? I'm just.
I don't think Omos eats an F5.
Really?
No.
I don't
No,
see it happening.
I think Lesnar
He's going to
gets
do
his
it to
shit in.
MVP like 8 times. But he's not gonna pick that big bastard up.
But let's be realistic. It's fun to watch MVP get
Brock's
F5.
gonna go away for a while.
No, I think Lesnar I think that's the whole point. I think that's going to be the finish. Is
I think
Lesnar
Brock's done.
I think it's
throwing
been
away.
teased. But bottom line is, we could whine. We can complain about this match all day long.
But it's happening.
So
It's here.
we have to pick a winner?
Yeah. A winner.
I say
is
Lesnar
you.
wins.
Yeah, Lesnar.
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 I'll be the odd man out. Bucket Omos is winning that.
Oh, alrighty.
Spicy. That takes spicy. Somebody clip that. Post it on TikTok. Clip that shit.
I don't give a fuck. I'm barely on TikTok anymore. Go ahead.
That's very true. That's very true.
All right.
Oh, we're
so
fun.
let's move on. Okay.
This
Here we
match is going to
go.
be better than it has any right to be.
Yep.
Agree.
This match is going to be match of the entire weekend. I don't even think it's going to be match of the show. It's going to be match of the entire weekend. This is the match everyone is going to talk about.
They're gonna do some
as
wild
much as
shit
I
in
hate
this.
Logan Paul, I kind of agree with that.
Exactly.
I do think
That's
that
the
this
point,
is going
though.
to be
Like, you're
match
supposed
of
to
the-
hate him.
at least match of the night, at least. But it's definitely going to blow everything else out of the water as much as I hate Logan Paul.
Without question.
I mean, I don't really disagree at all. Because we've seen that Logan Paul, by hook or by crook, does have skill, and we know how talented Seth is and how good he is about making people look like $1,000,000. So, yeah, I think this is going to be. You don't want to call it sleeper, but it's kind of sleeperish because I guess you really have no expectations for it because it's just kind of like, it's freaking Logan Paul.
Yeah, but so far, Logan Paul, it's like in each of his matches and performances, he's just gotten better and better and better. And let's face facts, as the caliber of opponents he's been in the ring with, he hasn't quite had a dance partner quite like Seth freaking Rollins. Because, let's face facts. I think pound for pound in the WWE, the best in-ring worker going today is Seth Rollins. I don't think there's any denying
I'd go so
that.
far as to say Seth is the best all-around worker in WWE, period.
Yeah, totally. It's just
the best combination of mic work and in-ring work. He's the best combination.
Without question.
Yeah.
When you're over and you don't even have a title, which I know he had like the U.S. title at points, but like
that's the thing. He's that good. He doesn't need a title.
Yeah.
And every motherfucker in that building is doing the when he comes out.
Yep.
And I do think that Seth wins this match because I don't think that they're ever really going to use Logan Paul like on a regular basis. I think he's just going to be brought in like this every couple months for a big show to put with somebody to pop some interest. And it really doesn't matter if he loses or wins because it's Logan Paul. He's not there to win a bunch of titles or become the best wrestler in the world or anything like that. So I do call Seth Rollins winning this one.
I agree with that. I also see him getting in Money in the Bank and winning it.
Oh shit!
That would suck.
He doesn't successfully cash in, but I see him winning Money in the Bank.
That would be interesting.
So I'm super excited you said that. I'm super excited you said that because I've already predicted that Logan Paul is going to win Money in the Bank. I think he's going to win this match.
Oh, you think he's going to win this? Oh.
I think he's going to win this match, and I think he's going to be in the Money in the Bank match, and he's going to win that too. Because I think they want him with a mic in his hand in front of people, dancing around the briefcase in front of people. They want him to take the briefcase on social media and make TikToks and YouTube videos with it. It's a free advertising prop they can give him. The WWE has shown that they're okay with giving somebody Money in the Bank and not having successful cash-ins. They've proven that over and over again, and I think that's a marketing tool the WWE won't pass up. Yeah, I think that Seth puts Logan over, and then Logan goes on to take the briefcase and do some fun stuff with that.
Yeah, because it's not like it was back in the day where it was like, okay, if you win Money in the Bank, you're pretty much going to be the next world champion.
Yeah,
it's
right.
not like that at all nowadays.
Not at all. No.
But I will say this about all this with Logan Paul. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't Logan Paul supposed to have a UFC fight this year? Like, didn't he sign like a contract with UFC?
Yeah, he did. He
Correct.
signed with UFC.
So I wonder if that has any bearing on this. I wouldn't think so, but I mean, you never know. I mean, I feel like I don't think the relationship between Vince and Dana was too great, but I think between Dana and Triple H is probably okay. But I don't know. Who knows?
Probably in way better standing.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it. So, I could see this. This is really 50-50 for me, but I think I'm going to listen to my heart. I'm going to lean towards Seth winning this, but I'm not going to be shocked if Logan Paul pulls out the W at WrestleMania.
Yes, I will, follow up with that. I would agree. I'm going to the Drip God himself, where we learned on another cheap plug for PW60 from our Wrestle Talk Drip God that Drip Gods live in the jungle.
They do.
So I'm going with Seth Rollins.
What about you, Breigh? Who you think's going to win this one?
I gotta go with Seth Rollins, and I cannot wait afterwards to hear everybody singing his song after the match is done. That whole stadium, it's gonna give me goosebumps.
Yeah. No,
I think that's one of the other reasons that I call Seth too. I really look at WrestleMania as, this is where you send the fans home happy. For the most part. So do you want to blow the whole crowd with, having Logan Paul win, or do you want the end of that match to be the entire crowd singing Seth Rollins' music and have kind of a Mania moment?
Yeah, but so I get that, but at the same time, doesn't his entrance do the same thing? And we've already said that Seth can come back after this and just show up on Monday night and still be over. We've literally had a conversation about Seth being able to be over without a title. He can be over without a win.
Thing about Logan Paul.
Be over without a win too. Yeah, but basically Logan Paul's entire contract with the WWE is a marketing expense.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
There's nothing else.
He can win Money in the Bank without having to win here too. So
yeah,
he can, but I mean it to me it makes more sense to where one has to lead into another. Sure, you can do it without it, but if you're going to push him in that direction, you give him the win of this match, and then he becomes the first person to declare for Money in the Bank, right? And then that draws Seth into it, and then you can keep the back and forth going and see if you want who you want to give it to. You can let it play out organically on its own.
Yeah, a lot of ways they can go with this. Husky, who you got in this one?
Pauly kind of threw me off with his thing with Money in the Bank.
Okay, yeah.
Because he lost to Cody last year. Maybe he needs his win back, but with the whole Logan Paul possibly going on to win Money in the Bank, him winning this and then going into that seems a little more interesting.
Listen to your heart.
I'm gonna go Seth Rollins. I'll stick with Seth.
I hate it here. I hate it.
Oh, come on.
Then Hambone, did you say Seth on this one?
Yeah. I'm going with Seth.
And Pauly, I know you are going with Mr. Paul here on this one. So yeah, I mean it's really a split here. It could go either way, but nonetheless, it's going to be a tremendous matchup, and we're all looking forward to it. But oh my God, look at that hardened criminal! Here we go.
God, that prisoner.
Father versus son. Man, Dom just sends shivers down my spine.
Wait a minute, is that photo a little blurry?
You shut your mark mouth.
No, it's just Dom's presence is just making you.
Yeah, it's it.
Yeah.
We swear to the people watching at home, it's just your internet connection for this entire segment.
He looks more and more like Eddie Guerrero every day.
Isn't that fucking nuts? But it's true. He really does.
He's literally 94 Eddie Guerrero with tattoos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
creepy.
crazy. But here we're
If
getting.
they would have put Eddie Guerrero in like WCW Nitro on N64, it's just
Right.
it's just Dom.
It really is.
It's insane how much he looks like Eddie. Like seriously. But we're
One
talking.
may wonder.
Yeah, that's right. But here we go. Father versus son. Rey Mysterio Jr. against Dominic Mysterio. In the build up for this one, we knew from day one when Dominic joined up with the Judgment Day that we were going to probably likely get this match at WrestleMania, and here we are. And before Rey Mysterio is going right in the Hall of Fame right before this too, so well deserving there.
I'm gonna give a hot take on this match.
Oh, let's hear it.
This is the best storyline in WWE behind the Bloodline saga.
Oh,
You're not. I don't think that's that hot of a take because I don't think you're wrong
Yeah.
there.
no,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think that's super spicy.
No,
I think it's the most paid attention to take.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm really looking forward to this one. I mean, we've only had, if my recollection is correct, only one other father versus son WrestleMania match, and that was Shane and Vince.
Right.
So here we go. My gosh, and here's the question: is this gonna be Rey Mysterio's last match? I mean,
Yes,
how
yes.
apropos. He finishes
Yes.
it out at WrestleMania and puts his son over. I mean,
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
yeah.
This will be the end of it.
That's a conversation for another day.
I have read that Rey is not done after WrestleMania. But if you had asked me, do I think that this is his last match? I would have said yes. Going into the Hall of Fame, put his son over at WrestleMania, and then ride off into the sunset. But there's been reports that it is not going to be his final match.
But
Take that for what it is.
How many wrestlers are quote unquote retired and have come back for matches?
It's
Flair's
true.
talking about trying
Ric
to do
Flair.
another one.
I'll never retire. Woo!
You know, it makes what more of a heel move could you give than your dad being inducted into the Hall of Fame and then you cheat a win out of him at WrestleMania the next day?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? To retire him. You know what I mean? Like, how dirty is that? Like, it's if you want to establish Dom as a heel, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
If you really want to ride Dom as a heel until the wheels fall off, it's been handed to them.
Yeah.
And really, what better way would it be for I mean, that scenario helps everybody. You know, Rey gets put into the Hall of Fame. He gets to put over his son in his final match, which I'm sure he would love to do. He gets to retire before he's crippled, and he puts Dom in a position to be even bigger than he's already made himself. I mean, this match, if Rey loses and he does retire, it's a perfect scenario for that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way. They did already win tag titles together, right? First father and son to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the key to this whole piece is, and I think they've set the table for it with these, special occasions, special events, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and this and that, right? With the interruptions, right? I think we get an interruption during the Hall of Fame. I think it escalates to a retirement match, and Dom does heel things, cheats to win.
Let me ask you
what I'm going with.
What about this? What if it is that scenario? Say he interferes in his dad's Hall of Fame speech, and he challenges him to this match to put his career on the line.
I really thought that they were going to do some sort of segment where Dom went home when Rey wasn't around and did more to like intimidate his mother or something like that to piss Rey off on Raw. And then on SmackDown, I thought, we would get Rey or Dom maybe come out and just to be even more of a sleazy heel, be like, well, now I'm not giving you this match unless you put your career on the line. Now that you've agreed
Ooh.
to it, I'm not giving it to you unless you retire if I beat you. That's where I thought they were.
We still have Friday.
We still have
Yeah.
Friday. So
This is true. This is true. Well, pick us a winner in this one. B-roll, we'll start with you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going Dom. Team Dom.
Yeah. He's a hardened criminal. What can you say?
Love me a bad boy.
Breigh, who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go with the prison boy Dom.
Husky, who you got?
Yeah, the ex-con's going over.
Ex-con's going over. Hambone?
Dom gets the win-win.
There you go. Pauly, who you got?
I'm going to give you two potential outcomes. I'm going to give you a more likely outcome, and then I'm going to give you the outcome that I want to see as just like a nerdy wrestling fan. The most potential outcome here, the outcome with the most potential, is Dom hits Ray with the Eddie Frog Splash, pins him. Ray's gone. I think it all hinges on how much the WWE believes in Judgment Day. I think it's very possible that Judgment Day breaks up after the Rhea Charlotte shenanigans that we'll talk about later. I think that's very possible. If they decide to do that, there's an outside chance that the WWE turns Dom full face and goes baby face instead of heel. Not only does Ray get beaten and get retired, but Ray gives Dom his mask and we get Lucha Dom.
That's interesting.
Because you have to think about how important it is in the Lucha community, the mask itself. And Ray lives and dies as a luchador. Like, he's the only reason AAA existed for like a decade.
While I agree about how important that is, Pauly, I really think that Dom has very, very, very big shoes to fill, and to take that mask and wear it would probably be a mistake for him when he needs to create his own identity away from it.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but I'm saying the WWE will see an opportunity in that.
See,
you know what I mean? Potentially. I still think him being a heel and him beating him is more likely. But at the same time, there is the opportunity to take that storyline and run with it, especially if you want Ray to continue being on TV, but not in a competing role.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if they went that route with the mask with Dominic, I feel like it's taken him a long time to kind of create his own character here. And I feel like if they went back with and gave him a mask, I almost feel like it'd be like just take the momentum he has now and like step back. Yeah,
could take it away from. Yeah, that's why I think him doing what he's doing now is the more plausible option. It hinges on what they're going to do with Judgment Day. Because let's be honest, the best part about the Dominic Mysterio story is Rhea.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you remove Rhea from the equation, you remove all the momentum that Judgment Day gave Dom. And if you're going to get rid of Judgment Day, can Dom stand alone as a heel? I think the answer is no right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree. So are you picking Dom then on this one as well?
Yeah, it's the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dominic is gonna win this one, and I think I think he continues his heel run, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here and see what happens with Ray after this. If he's done, or if in fact he's going to continue on. So.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And just to close the last one though, I do think it just how long our discussion was on it does this show what an interesting storyline it has been.
Yeah. But speaking
of go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If they make that an important match or like a major match, like if they want to do something major with the storyline of that match has the potential to co-main event night one with the tag titles.
Oh.
If they're gonna push like something really big to be the outcome of that match, with like Dom putting his dad away for good, that has the potential of being a co-main event of one of the nights.
Oh, there you go. Well, speaking of Judgment Day and big matches, how about this one? We are getting Edge against Finn Balor, or should I say Demon Finn Balor, at Hell in a Cell. I think this is one of those matches that's got a lot of potential that it could steal the show over the weekend too. I mean,
this could be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be some good shit.
I only want one thing out of this match.
What's
I
that?
want a Prince Devitt Wrestle Kingdom entrance.
Oh my God! Please
have him come out of the fucking casket as the fucking demon, and have him like crawl down the ring. Give me that. You've got the fucking budget for it. It's WrestleMania. Give us something huge. Because the
give me what I want.
Give me what I want. The entrances for this match are going to be fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Husky, you just gave me the goosies. You gave me goosebumps.
I would be so hyped for that. I will say I was on Twitter right before we jumped on this call, and I will say two things that I did read about this match of note. Number one, Gangrel has confirmed he will be in town for WrestleMania weekend, which all but like confirms he will be part of this match in some capacity. The other thing that I think is really important to note is that there's a photo floating around Twitter of them unloading the steel cage at the arena. It's not the red cage. It's the original steel cage.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Okay, and also, I saw something on Facebook that apparently Tony Khan gave Christian the green light to do a one-off appearance.
Holy shit.
No way.
I don't know how true that is.
Happens. Fucking Los Angeles is going to lose their shit.
Oh, could you imagine if we got a full Brood entrance?
Oh my
like
gosh.
a full-on Brood entrance with the elevator on fire, like the Ring of Fire, and
the Ring of Fire, the music, the whole shit, dude. Yes.
Could you imagine what we would like? The crowd pop
if Edge goes over and
Brood Edge. Oh my God!
My nipples are hard.
God!
Can I also just say that had WWE not done Hell in the Cell with this match, that I would not have given a shit, because I am so over this feud. I thought it was done at Elimination Chamber, and we're getting it again.
But I thought it was done at Extreme Rules.
I get what you're saying.
I thought it was done in Royal Rumble. I don't,
I get what you're saying, but I mean, me personally, I've kind of, I don't know, it's had its highs and its lows, but like, but you hit the nail on the head. The fact that it's a Hell in a Cell match and it's at WrestleMania. And can we just say this? Thank God, Hell in a Cell matches are important now again. Like, because instead of just fucking having its own pay-per-view and let's just put two guys or girls in a cell, like, what the fuck? Like this, like a cage match traditionally in professional wrestling is the blow-off match, and that's exactly what this is going to be at WrestleMania. But as great as the match is going to be, I think you all are hitting the nail on the head. I think this is going to be contenders for like the two best entrances of the weekend.
100%.
Well, and let's be honest, this match is the battle of the entrances. Like forget what happens in the ring. This entire match is like these guys could just give their entrances and then just have the referee be like, Edge's entrance was better, Edge wins, and then not even have the match, and we'd still be okay with it.
Just the fucking commentators have scorecards.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, holding up like the 10, like
that's it. That's all it needs to be.
And
Edge loses 0.2 percentage point for the fire not being in the proper placement of the shot. So.
Fire didn't go off on time. That's
he gets a 9.875. Like gymnastics rules.
Yeah. Gosh, I still just can't get over the fact, like, what if freaking Christian actually is there?
That'll be as big of a pop, if not louder, than when the Hardy Boys showed up.
Rather if it's a
WrestleMania.
if it's a one-off, which I've been wondering if he's even maybe just done with AEW.
So he'd need to be released from his contract. His contract is not even close to being up yet. So it's possible, but this might be, if Tony Khan does let him do this, this might be keep Christian happy ploy. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, yeah. No, go ahead and go over to WWE for an appearance. Well, I'll even pay for the appearance. Go over there. You know what I mean? Keep him happy. You know, keep him not wanting to terminate his contract and leave, because it does not look as bad to wrestling organizations to have contracts expire and then not be renewed than it does to have contracts be forcibly terminated.
Right.
Like people asking to be let out of their contract. That looks bad. You don't want that.
Oh, definitely not.
Well, nonetheless, I think it's going to be an incredible moment. Who do you all got in this Hell in a Cell? Me personally, I'm going with Edge. I feel like, Finn went over on him in Extreme Rules. I think this closes out the feud, and the veteran will get the W. B-roll, who you got?
This one can be tough.
I swear to God, B-roll, there's nothing tough about this match. I swear to God.
Don't make me come down there.
Listen.
I'm going Edge.
There you go. Breigh, who you got?
I'm just gonna go with Edge.
There you go. Husky?
This is like Edge's like victory lap pretty much on his career. I'll give Edge the win on this one.
Yeah. Hambone.
I'm going to be the odd one out, and I'm actually going to say Finn takes this one. I think that, this is more than likely Edge's last year. I think that he's probably going to spend it putting people over. But not only that, I really think that out of these two, Finn needs it way more. We've talked on our podcast many times about how it's almost like, Rhea Ripley is just carrying a bunch of jobbers in the Judgment Day. That's almost where, Finn has been relegated to. And I really think that he needs this win way more than Edge, especially if Judgment Day does possibly break up after Mania. He needs this win to move on for himself.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. I mean, definitely if Edge loses, it's not like the end, but you're right. If Finn, it kind of makes me want to change my pick. I'm still
that's
going
what
with
I was
Edge,
going to say. Anybody want to change their pick?
I'm still going with Edge. Pauly, who you got?
Gangrel Bloodbath, Edge wins.
There you go. Yeah. Some good shit right there.
Now,
Speaking,
can I say one more
Listen,
thing?
you can't talk about good shit and then go to that graphic. Or you cannot.
I just want to give
you're welcome.
Super quick shout out to our boy Michael, who we had on Learning the Ropes. And he mentioned he was hoping that Finn's demon character, instead of like the black and red, he did like a black and purple for Judgment Day.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah,
I would pop for that as well.
Yeah. But
again, battle of the entrances.
Battle of the entrances. Yes. But what are you talking about, Pauly? Come on, this is going to be some good shit. We've got Damage Control going up against Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this one?
Negative
37.
Ouch! So is this a potty break match for everybody?
Yes, 100%. This is Husky's re-upping on his edibles. I'm taking a dump, which is better than this match.
Oh my god! What? Okay, I gotta ask, what's such the hatred on this? Because
why do you want to see Lita and Trish in a WrestleMania ring anymore ever? Why?
I agree. I love Lita and Trish. I mean, they are my number 1 and number 2 women wrestlers of all time. But we do not need late 40s, early 50s Lita and Trish taking spots from other women who are on the roster who aren't doing shit right now and could really use this spot. I just think that this was a bad call.
Well, I
Showcase
can't.
match.
I don't need to see Lita break a hip giving somebody a fucking moonsault or some shit. Like, I don't need to see it.
Confused by the whole thing. Like, I'm just confused by it.
I'm
Like,
still floored they gave them the tag titles.
That's
That's the other thing too. Like, why did they have to win the tag titles for this match to happen?
Well, and not only win the tag titles, but then not defend them. Like, this, you give them a chance to get the tag titles back.
The only reason I can think of is because, like we said earlier, more than likely Ronda and Shayna are going to win that match, and so they can revisit Ronda and Becky. That's the only thing that makes sense for them giving them the titles to me.
Absolutely.
And if Ronda and Shayna win their match, and this match is on the same night, this match DQs because Ronda and Shayna clear all 6 of them.
Yep.
That is an interesting take for sure.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about this one is, I mean, I do think part of the reason why Trish and Lita are involved in this is so like Bailey can kind of get this WrestleMania moment working with like 2 of her all-time favorites. I think kind of, at least I don't know. That's kind of what I'm building it up in my mind. And I don't know. Like, I don't hate this one. I don't know. It's just there. It exists. Like, I'm not going to be. Hambone makes a great point though. This easily could have been like, why not give Becky a group? You know, why not
somebody who needs it? Yeah. Somebody who needs it.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, Becky and fucking Team AARP don't need to win this match. So it's just damage control.
Yeah, this should be damage control winning this, and I agree. That's going to be my prediction.
Them Team AARP.
Hey, bro, don't knock until you got that AARP card, bro.
You can't tell me they don't. I mean, Trish is getting free healthcare, so she don't need AARP. But like,
Pauly, but
that's getting clipped and going on the internet.
Because it's time to rock and roll, and I hope I don't break a hip. Okay. Anyways, so
Don't
yeah,
land on your head doing a moonsault, Lita. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, seriously.
Please.
There's extra ambulances backstage just in case Trish or
every time
Lita
she does it now, I get
above
so
the
fucking
second rope.
scared.
Oh my god.
But don't
Even
worry,
when they won the tag titles, I was like, is she gonna get all the way over, or did she just like break her neck? Like,
Barely, dude.
like
She
fucking-
landed on her forehead.
Did you watch it? She got pushed. Dakota pushed her. That's why she made it the rest of the way over. She reached out right underneath her neck and pushed her the rest of the way. So she didn't fucking botch the shit. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
So, yeah. B-roll, who you got in this one?
Well, I'm gonna pull a Tommy Dreamer. You know who the real winners in this one are? The fans.
The bathrooms?
I was going to say the bathrooms?
In the bathrooms. No, I'm not ever going to complain about
the snack bar at the arena is the real winner from this match.
Merch stand.
I will not complain.
The merch stand makes
win.
Yeah.
I will not complain
Workers at
about
SoFi
Trish
Stadium win
Stratus
this one.
being on my TV. I will not complain about that. But with that being said, I'm picking damage control to win.
Okay. Breigh, who you got?
For a match I don't give 2 shits about, I'm just gonna go with Pauly's name for it. Team AARP.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Husky, who the fuck do you got in this one?
Team AARP explodes. Trish is going to turn on Lita because, of course, and damage control is going to win it.
What's she gonna do? Hit her with her walker? Like,
Yeah.
Are they gonna walk out? Like,
Yeah, dude, she's gonna pull one of the tennis balls off of her walker and just fucking yeet it at Lita.
Listen, Paul.
gonna have
As
a
old
chain on the pole match at WrestleMania
as
Backlash.
old as Trish Stratus may be, with all the yoga she does, she can do way more than you can, than I can.
Oh, she definitely can. 100%.
Yeah. So, Hambone, Who do you got in this one?
It should be Damage Control, but I don't see them winning. They've been booked terribly since the night after they debuted.
Yeah,
I'm saying Lita and Trish and Becky, especially if Shayna and Ronda win. I don't see why you would have their next opponents lose. So I'm going with Lita and Trish and Becky.
There you go. And Pauly, I please hope and pray you're going to say Team AARP wins this.
No. There's no reason. No reason at all. If you want to push anybody, it's got to be Damage Control. No reason to push Becky and the tag champions that are just holding them until Ronda and Shayna debut.
I mean, they need it because goddamn, Damage Control has just been like
they need like anything right now. Literally anything right now.
Well, I feel like this too. It's like Hambone says. It's like, yeah, they've just fucked it up from day one. So it's like, why?
They've had plenty of chances to push Damage Control. Why now?
If this was 4 years ago, Bayley would be 24/7 champion right now, fighting with R-Truth. Like that's how bad this booking is.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I can't say it any better than that. So. Okay, let's get into our championship matches. And we did find out that this is going to be your opening match of WrestleMania weekend, Saturday night. It all kicks off with the returning John Cena challenging Austin Theory for the United States Championship because A-Town's down, baby. So,
I wish they would have put John Cena on the graphic.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's like I'm squinting. I can't find him. I can't see him. I just see like a floating hat. I don't understand what's going on here. But no, Breigh, how excited are you to see this matchup?
I'm sad that I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to miss this match live.
Oh,
because I'll be at a show that night, so I'll miss this match. Oh, my favorite match! I'm looking forward to the whole weekend.
You may have to just pull it up on the Peacock on your phone.
I think I'm going to have to.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see this one. I'm excited to see Cena back in the ring. Like I think this is the perfect opponent for him to go up against with Austin Theory, to give him that rub, so to speak. But I think this is a good opener too. Like you get that huge pop with John Cena coming out. You get that moment with Theory. Like I think they chose wisely to kick off the whole weekend with this. What do you all think about that?
I mean, what's not to love about John Cena entrance?
This probably will be a hot take, but we talk about. I know that's going to open the show, but I think I'll be taking my bathroom break at the open of the show. Not particularly a big fan of either of these men, and I don't really feel like enough has been put into this feud to make it really that interesting. So I honestly don't really care about this match.
Okay, well, fair enough. Pauly, what were you going to say on this one?
This is just like you're bringing in John Cena to give John Cena his entrance at Mania. Like, let's be honest. I think we can all agree that John Cena, A, has no business winning a title right now, and B, is only existing to put Austin Theory over. I think that's like a universal like thought right now. Like, I don't see any reason why you give John Cena a title. He doesn't need it, never needed it. He's still John fucking Cena, and that's just like that's that. But as somebody from the WWE, of course it makes perfect sense to just be like, hey John, can we use your entrance one night? Like, we don't care if you lose a match or whatever, but can you just show up and like do your entrance and then get pinned by Austin Theory and leave? And he's like, fuck yeah, sure, no problem. I'll take a payday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think ultimately, yeah, if we're picking, I'm definitely taking Theory on this one. I can't see Cena winning it. It doesn't make any sense, really. I think it's like you say, Cena's there to get that big pop, that big crowd reaction, to come in, do the work, and pretty much put over Theory. And then
I'm surprised Cena's talent agency agreed to let him wrestle. Because I think that's, more than anything, that's what you're going to have with guys like Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. These guys are like liabilities in the ring to major motion picture companies that make billions of dollars.
Mhm.
Like the last thing you want is like Dwayne Johnson to step foot in the ring just to get a WrestleMania pop and then fucking tear an ACL and not be able to film like a multi-million-dollar movie because of it. So like, I'm more than anything, I'm surprised Cena's team even got clearance for this from like Universal, because he has to film 10, right? Fast and Furious 10. We already know it's coming out. We already know it's going to be filmed. If he gets hurt and can't film that movie, that's a $500 million mistake.
Well, that's a unique way of looking at it, but Cena is really at that level at this point, which is so crazy to think. Like, 10 years ago or whatever, it was like a reversal of roles with him and The Rock when they had their WrestleMania matchup. But yeah, here we are though. But B-roll, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, so when I look at this matchup, I think back to, and this is going to be really minute detail that maybe nobody remembers, but as you remember when all the crap started going, when Vince McMahon, all the crap of Vince McMahon started going down, there was a report out there that he had flown to where John Cena was. I believe John Cena was on a set. Or maybe I'm just crazy and I'm making this up. But I believe that Vince really he really did see something in Austin Theory. And I feel like ultimately, like what you guys are saying, it's Cena's there for Austin Theory to go over. So
there you go.
Rightfully so.
Yep.
A-Town down.
A-Town bound. I wonder, Breigh, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I wonder. No, A-Town down. Of course.
There you go. A-Town down, baby. Husky, who you got?
This is a passing of the torch moment. Austin Theory is going to win this. He is going to come up on Raw, and as he saying, celebrating and beating John Cena, he's going to do one of those U.S. title open challenges, and we are going to get one of two people challenging for it. Either main roster debut of Braun Breaker or a debuting Switchblade Jay White.
Oh,
I think Braun.
Yeah, I think
over here.
Yeah, I have.
More than
I have.
likely it will be Braun Breaker.
I actually have an opinion.
I hope
on
not. That
Jay,
kid is
but-
not ready to be on the main roster.
I have a wrench to throw in. Cameron Grimes.
Oh.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh.
Matt Cardona.
Cardona?
Ooh.
Oh shit! Wow.
True.
You know what? What if we get another main roster call up, and it is the well-deserved Grayson Waller?
I like Grayson Waller a lot, so I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
I don't really know how their characters would work against each other because they're both kind of
they're both kind of
you
the
know,
same douchey.
Both head heels.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna call it. Let's just do another NXT call up. How about Von Wagner?
Oh no. Okay, I'm gone. Bye, guys. It's nice knowing you.
Oh, God. Ugh. Yeah.
The dude doesn't have merch.
Well,
Can't be over. He doesn't have merch.
that's right.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm pretty good at Photoshop. We can make him some merch.
God.
Yeah, it should just be basically. It just should say Von Wagner shirt, like white, like Times New Roman or something.
Times New Roman.
There you
A
go.
shirt that says "This is my gear."
This is my shirt. Yeah, this is my merch. Yeah.
Bree, if you ever get a package like for a shirt that is that, I had nothing to do with it.
I can see it being very much like Jake Hager in AEW. It's just like a picture of Von Wagner's face, and then all it says is in very plain lettering is "I like this shirt."
There you go. That's perfect. Hambone, who do you got in this one, my friend?
Austin Theory. No reason for Cena to win here. It's a career-making victory for anybody who beats him at WrestleMania. So Theory goes over.
Okay. Pauly, who you got?
It's Theory. It's totally Theory. There's no reason for it to be Cena. I would love to see Jay White come out after this match
Oh, at Mania.
in some capacity at Mania.
Okay.
I'd love to see him come out after this match, and even if it doesn't challenge or anything, just make his presence felt. Give him a Mania entrance. That's a great place to debut. I mean, let's be honest. I think we can all agree that the night after WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania, is always far more important than Mania. Because Mania puts the bow on all the tiny little storylines that we've had going on, and the Raw after Mania is what launches them, right? So there's going to be a lot going on Raw.
Yeah, and I do
If
feel
they're going to bring Jay White out, it makes more sense to bring him out at Mania than Raw after Mania, where we're going to see new tag title, contenders. We're going to see a new world title contender.
it's a new season.
We're good. Yeah. We're going to see a bunch of new shit. And all those things that are going to happen could potentially soften the debut of Jay White, even if he shows up. So to show up on Mania, Theory wins, and then Jay White shows up, I'm for that.
That's an interesting take. But I will say this, speaking of that Raw, I do think this is going to be one of the better Raw after Manias in a long time, because I feel like the past couple of years they've kind of fell flat. But I think this one's going to be different. Yeah, they have. All right, let's move on here. Oh, dear God. This one is going to be fucking epic.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah. Here is your WrestleMania dose of big meaty men slapping meat.
Oh.
This might end up being my favorite match of both nights, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
This match has so much potential. It just gobs of potential. It's just dripping potential.
I think this is what's great about this WrestleMania card. There's literally about 3 or 4 matches I come to mind that I think can steal the show, and this is definitely one of them. And of course, we're talking about 100%. The Intercontinental title here with Gunther defending against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Yeah, this is going to be a fucking war. How bloody, red, chested are all these guys going to be? How many chops?
I can't wait for this match. I just want to see them beat the shit out of each other.
It's gonna be brutal.
There's going to be an absurd amount of chops. Just a lot of chops and a lot of noisy strikes. And just a lot of meaty men slapping meat. Just a lot of meat slap.
Just a lot of this sound.
Yes.
Yep. Just a lot of that. Not even coming from the crowd, just coming from fucking people's ribcage.
It ain't gonna be thigh slapping either, brother.
No.
Yeah. No. My personal recommendation is every time a chop is delivered, the crowd there should go banger.
This would be the perfect match to make a drinking game off of.
You'd be
every time there's a chop, you got to drink. Yeah, just every ambulance driver in the country would be just busy as fuck.
That's literally first one with public intox wins.
So here's the interesting thing about this match for me, and this might be a bit of a hot take because we'll get into this stuff a little later on. To me, every single one of the title matches is extremely cut and dry as to who should be winning the match, except this one. Because this is the match, I could see Gunther retaining. I could see them giving it to Sheamus. I could see them giving it to Drew. I think all the other matches, the winners, are just super obvious. Mm-hmm. This is the one that isn't as obvious to me.
Well, here's the one thing I think that's going under the radar, which really surprises me, but that they don't talk about this more. But Gunther now has surpassed the Honky Tonk Man and is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Oh, wow. Fuck yeah.
You would think they would be talking about that all the time, but they're not. I mean, I think Gunther's done just about everything he can do with this championship. I mean, I would love to see him still retain, but I kind of feel like this moment really belongs and deserves to go to Sheamus, I think. Because I mean, Sheamus, well, you talk about a career resurgence over the past year. Like people have
Yep.
slept on him for so long, and it's like nothing's changed with him. He's still been a bad motherfucker. That's like can do the work in the ring. So I kind of going that route. I feel like Sheamus is going to get his moment here at WrestleMania, and also too, if Sheamus does pull the win off, that means he will finally won every single championship in the WWE. B-roll, what do you think on this one?
About a week ago, I probably would have said Gunther's retaining. But I just don't know. I do think I agree. I think Sheamus picks up the win here. Part of me also is tempted to pick Drew though, because then Sheamus could chase Drew because he's already ticked off at him that he's trying to go after the belt anyway. But then you could say vice versa as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going Sheamus. I'm going for the moment, I guess, of him having that moment and getting that last piece. But I will say this. I do think Drew has never won the Intercontinental. I think.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, he has.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his first championship he ever won. But I mean, that was long before you were watching. So yeah, but he's held it before.
Wow.
Breigh, who you got in this one?
As much as I like Drew McIntyre, I can't picture him winning this belt. He doesn't need it. I want to see Sheamus win. Let him have his moment.
Yeah, I agree. Husky, who you got?
Sheamus needs to complete the set before he hangs it up. Yeah. And I think there's no other time to do it but now.
And that's something else I don't think people realize too. I mean, Sheamus is what, like in his mid-40s, I think?
45.
45. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I don't think people realize when he came to the WWE, he was in his 30s at least. So, I mean, Sheamus it's getting around that time, but I mean, he still looks phenomenal and does a phenomenal job, but I mean, you can't do it forever. Hambone, who you got in this one?
I think that Gunther retains. I don't think it's time for him to lose that title yet. I think that, Sheamus will get the Intercontinental title. I just don't think it'll be at WrestleMania. And I think it'll be in a one-on-one feud where they make a bigger deal about the fact that he needs to win this to complete, being a Grand Slam champion. Because I don't really feel like that's what this is about. I also feel like this is just going to lead to Sheamus and Drew in a feud afterwards. And I don't really think you need that belt to do it. I think that Gunther is going to hold that belt for a lot longer, to be honest with you. I think he's going to hold it until he gets put into a world title feud. So I say that Gunther walks out still Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win it here, Money in the Bank because it's in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Yeah. Yeah.
Pauly, who you got in this one?
Drew and new Sheamus versus Drew at Money in the Bank.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I like it. All are interesting, like finishes. I think at the end of the day, we're all winners on this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a matchup.
I can say one thing for sure. I think I'm shocked if it's Gunther that gets pinned.
That's the thing too. I think Gunther loses it, but I don't think he gets pinned.
Right, yeah. I think that's why you do a triple threat. Because you can protect Gunther and force a rivalry from the other two. So I think either way, either one of them could win, but one of them's going to pin the other, and Gunther's not going to eat the pin.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, up next, let's talk about your Raw Women's Championship matchup with Bianca Belair defending against Asuka.
Am I the only person that just absolutely hates everything about Bianca Belair? Just everything. Is it just me?
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do
I
think
think you're
this.
the only one, Pauly.
I will say this, Paulie. I do think she needs a fresh coat of paint, but I still love Bianca.
It's so lame. I don't like. Don't get me wrong. I don't like dislike her as like a wrestler. Just what she's doing now is just so boring and so lame. And they've done everything they can do with Bianca as she is right now, and she needs a complete and total overhaul. She needs a reset. She needs to be a different person, different character, different persona, different everything. And yeah, no, not a fan.
Speaking of overhauls, how about what they've done with Asuka so far with the
Fact.
makeup and like the way
Absolutely.
she? Oh my
As
god!
much as I have liked the new look and everything like that of Asuka, I still feel like she is not dominating in the way that she should be. I wanted to see a big callback to like NXT Asuka, and I was like, man, Liv Morgan is getting a lot of offense in here against Asuka. Like, I really just wanted to see Asuka start wrecking people again for a while, and that has not happened.
This is the time to do it. This is when we get it, though. This is the time to do it. Because if you want to retool Bianca and you want to push Asuka, give Asuka a clean win over Bianca at Mania.
I would go even one further. What if you go with like several years ago? Y'all remember Brock Lesnar against John Cena at SummerSlam, where Brock Lesnar just beat the piss out of him for 15 minutes and had no offense? What if it's that type of a matchup? I think that would be,
where it's just the squashiest of squashes.
And it goes on.
I personally would find that very hard to buy into, seeing as, like I just said, Asuka had an issue, beating Liv Morgan just a couple weeks ago, but she's going to come in and just wreck, Bianca, who's been a dominant champion for a year. Yeah, I don't really buy that.
Yeah, I think you make a valid point. They kind of shot their themselves in the foot. Now, if Asuka came in and just had been dominating everybody and going into this one, much more believable.
Then I'd believe it, right?
I think the way this is going to is going to go is it's going to be more of like a psychological game, and Asuka kind of just playing on the raw emotions of Bianca. I think ultimately is how this one's going to go. Breigh, what do you think about this matchup?
I'm not that into it. I think Bianca is ready to drop the belt. I want Asuka to take it from her.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not super stoked about this one. I mean, I think it's going to be fine, but it's not one of my. There's so many other like good storylines going into this year's WrestleMania. This is just kind of one of those matches that's there for me. But I think ultimately, I do think Bianca needs, like I say, a fresh coat of paint. And I think put it to you this way, Asuka needs this win much more than Bianca does. Like, if we're going to establish Asuka again as like a dominant force, she has to win this matchup, and I think she's going to go over Bianca.
Yep, I agree, 100%. They want her to look good, and the WWE does this quite often. And I hate it, but it's just part of the way of the world in the WWE is they book themselves into a corner, right? They've done it with the women's title. They've done it with the world title, which we'll get to in a little bit. But they book themselves into a position where they want to do something that they shouldn't be doing, but they have to do it anyway to make what they're trying to do work. And like, if you want Asuka to be good, which they obviously want to push her because they're like the WWE is not known for like revamping somebody's character like they have with Asuka and then just having her just stay what she's been. That's not something the WWE does. If they put time and effort into your character, it's because they want you to have a prominent role on television to see if it works. So this is the time you give her the title and see if what they're doing with her actually works.
All right. So I take it you're going with Asuka on this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. B-roll, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Asuka on this one. I mean, don't really have much expectations for this match, so in some ways, probably when I watch it, it's probably going to over deliver. For me, just because my bar is low. Like, I have no doubt it will be a good match. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the video packages from Raw this past week were, kind of just putting sprinkles on what we already had. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it's time. I think Asuka takes the belt here.
All right. Breigh, who you got in this one?
Going with Asuka.
Going with Asuka. Husky
Yeah, this is an Asuka victory.
and Hambone.
I'm a big fan of both of these women. I agree with B-roll that I think that this match is going to over-deliver. I think that people have very low expectations for it, but I think that it's going to be a good match. But ultimately, I do think that Asuka wins. I think Bianca has gotten stale. She has beaten everybody else on the roster. I think WWE made a mistake years ago in putting Charlotte over Asuka at WrestleMania, and I don't think they're going to make the same mistake here with her reintroduction. So Asuka walks out with the title.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on here and talk about our other women's championship match. Your SmackDown Women's Championship with Charlotte Flair defending against Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley. And my understanding is the way they're talking that this is the main event of night one is Charlotte and Rhea. At least that's how they're billing it. Not sure if that's actually going to go down, but
can I just make an observation about this too that I don't know if anybody else really noticed, but did anybody else notice how last week on Raw and then SmackDown it seemed like they really reversed the roles, whereas they were trying to make Rhea look like a face on Raw where she got attacked and took out multiple women, and then Charlotte came out on SmackDown and just did her usual smug Charlotte shit. Like, it really seemed like they were like, the crowd has cooled off on Charlotte again after she returned, and it's time to flip this around because it ain't working.
Yeah. I feel like Charlotte works way better as a heel than a babyface. Like, babyface Charlotte, it's just like, nah, that's not for me. But the same can be said for her dad, too. I love Rick, but Rick works so much better as a heel than a babyface.
Yeah,
I just think that, I still, even with all the time off that Charlotte had, I just think people are sick of Charlotte. I think we've had enough. Like, she has been very, very much overexposed, and she's probably going to be around for another 10 years. It's just too much. Too much Charlotte.
Charlotte has done literally everything she can in the WWE. I feel like the only way she can really kind of evolve, so to speak, is if she went to like Japan or worked. I'm not saying work for AEW, but work for like a different company or something. But WWE will never let her go. I mean, they'd be fucking nuts if they did.
Hell no.
But I don't know. It's just they're in a really weird spot here. But I feel like the best way to describe the buildup for this matchup is confusing, because I feel like they kind of started and they really had like something to go with the whole like, okay, Charlotte beat Rhea a couple years ago and sent her down this path, so to speak, but they kind of touched on that, and then they just kind of said fuck it, and they just was like, okay, we're gonna do this, no, we're gonna do this, no, we're gonna do this. And honestly, I think this will be a good matchup, but I really don't want this to close night one, in my opinion.
I agree. I don't believe that it deserves to close night one, especially not over a Sammy, KO, and the Usos.
Yep. Yeah, I say you call it a co-main event, and you go from there. I think ultimately Charlotte came back babyface, and it was largely because everyone was very happy that the belt was going off of Ronda.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that moment is over. But I think like this match and one other, well, I'm going to say this match actually is the most cut and dry. You were talking about this earlier, Pauly. This one's the most cut and dry. Rhea Ripley's fucking winning this.
You don't give Rhea the fucking rocket strapped to her back and then not give her the title. Like they've been shoving her in our faces so much. You don't do that to have her lose clean to Charlotte for no reason. Rhea's absolutely winning.
I haven't heard anyone complaining.
Yeah. But Charlotte, I mean, this is one of those moments too where it's like Rhea's got to get her moment back from that loss at WrestleMania 36. So, it to me, it's like if Charlotte loses this one, it doesn't do anything to hurt her. I mean, she's still
Charlotte's in place to make the win for the title look better because Charlotte is just a bazillion-time women's champion. So it's just Rhea taking the title from her specifically makes Rhea look stronger, which is the entire intention and nothing else.
Plus, if Charlotte loses, that gives her another opportunity to go chase the belt again and get another notch on it and getting one closer to the record.
Hell, she's gonna surpass her dad. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But that's another story.
I hate it.
I
hate it.
Tell me how you really feel about it.
I hate it.
But
hate it.
I think we can go clean sweep on this one. I think everyone's going to Rhea here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say, because I love Mommy Rhea, she needs to have the full-blown entrance. She needs to have the singer of her music out there. And if
I'm pretty sure she said that was happening.
Oh, I will die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Chris Motionless.
Because I am a Chris Motionless stan. I love Chris Motionless and White. I will die.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think it's going to happen. But Rhea, I think, is definitely getting her WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, Rhea spent all of last year getting herself over without wrestling a match, and then I mean, like Pauly said, you don't give somebody a 60-minute Royal Rumble win and then just be like, yeah, I'm just going to blow that.
Yeah, just like we're just gonna. It's okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here and let's talk about what are, in my opinion, I think everybody else will say, the two real main events of WrestleMania this year. And we're talking about the undisputed tag team championship first, as we're getting the Usos defending their titles against reunited Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And I just have to say this. All four of these men have done a fucking remarkable job in making me so goddamn hyped for this fucking matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall ever being this hyped for a tag team championship match in WrestleMania history. Ever. And in my opinion, I think that is why this match should go on last night one. Not only because of the incredible story, but think about how far we've come here, folks. I mean, the tag team championship for years in WWE was just fucking garbage. It was just, let's put random two people together and have them, and you're going to have a title reign for 5 weeks or whatever. They have put a lot of work and a lot of effort into rebuilding this tag team division. And I think it's about damn time that they make history in this match, main events, night one of WrestleMania. What do you all think about this tag team championship matchup?
I mean,
I don't know that I'd go so far as to say that they've put a lot of work into rebuilding the tag division as much as they have put a lot of work into the Usos and the tag team titles meaning something. Yes.
Okay. That's
the
actually
tag division as a whole. I don't know. I'd go that far.
Okay. Thank you, Hambone. That's truly kind of what I meant. The importance of the tag team titles. Let's say that.
Yeah, that I will absolutely 100% agree with. But man, oh man, honestly, this is probably this is the match I'm most looking forward to. It's just this whole story in general, I guess you could say. I mean, when the WWE freaking puts out a 2-hour plus video on their YouTube documenting just the entire story of the bloodline, I mean, I think it's safe to say, that it's over. Like it's getting over. And yeah, I'm pumped.
I mean, not only is this the best storyline going in the WWE today, the Bloodline storyline is one of the best storylines in WWE history. It's one of the best ones they've done in the past 10 years easily.
I will say that I fan of all these men in this match. This is going to be a great match, no doubt about it. It absolutely should be main eventing one of the nights. But I still am disappointed that Sami Zayn was giving the consolation prize of a tag team title match for all the work that he put into the bloodline, when to me, the natural ending of that storyline is that Sami is the one who takes down Roman Reigns somehow and causes the downfall of the bloodline.
Well, hear me out.
I
What
feel
if
like they built him, he got himself to a place, and they built him up to be the hottest person on the roster. They built a natural star organically, and then they're just like, fuck it. We're not gonna pull the trigger. Not gonna pull the trigger.
Hear me out on this, Hambone. Sammy, what if he's the guy though that put like a chip or chink in the armor of Roman and thus caused the Empire to fall? So he's like the kind of the hero, the unsung hero, if you will. Like if it wasn't for Sammy, like, turning against the bloodline, then it wouldn't be set in motion of what potentially is going to happen at WrestleMania with the Usos and with Roman.
Sure. I mean, that's not a bad way to look at it at all. I just think that at the end of the day, the bloodline for the past 8 months has been interesting because of Sami Zayn. Because let's be honest, it was getting a little stale. And I think that they really should have struck while it was hot with Sami Zayn, because I don't think and I love Sami Zayn. Is he ever going to be that hot again to where people could look at him and be like, oh yeah, he could be a world champion? Probably not. This was the time to do it. I think WrestleMania was the place to do it. I just think that they missed an opportunity here that they're probably not going to get back.
I think the problem that the WWE has here is, we talked about The Rocket being strapped to Rhea. The Rocket's been strapped to Cody since Rumble. And
that's true, but there's ways they could have done it. There's 2 titles.
I personally don't feel like Sammy is a believable world champion. I didn't want to see him as world champion.
I don't really think everybody has to be a believable world champion, though.
Right,
if you're going with that, we'd have about 10 world champions, because other people need to be world champion.
I don't think that, I don't know. I don't feel like I like the idea of the WWE Undisputed World Champion being a popularity contest. It's a personal opinion. That's just me. I don't like it. But I feel like I think that Sammy will be just as hot as a tag competitor with the tag titles as he would have been world champion. And I think that gives you the opportunity to let Cody do what Cody's meant to do this entire thing. I think Sammy taking apart the bloodline, which, that's my opinion on this match, is that Sammy and KO win, and then that this is what starts the bloodline falling apart.
Yeah.
And I think that putting that notch in Sammy's belt, way better for Sammy than it is being world champion.
I think that winning the world championship should be considered a bunch of different factors, including a popularity contest. Because really, if you think about it, if popularity didn't work into it, we wouldn't have gotten Kofi Kingston. We wouldn't have gotten Daniel Bryan. Does somebody have to be the most popular person to be the world champion? No. Does somebody have to be the face of the company to be the world champion? No. But I do think at times, popularity, you should just give the fans what they want. Sammy doesn't have to be some long-term, multiple-time world champion. But I think that it would have been an amazing WrestleMania moment that people would have remembered forever. It would have been the perfect way to end the bloodline storyline. And then Sammy could have had it for a couple months and dropped it to somebody else. Everybody really gets what they want out of that deal.
Well, I still think Sammy's definitely going to get that WrestleMania moment. But let me say this. Here's the thing with Sami Zayn, and there's not a whole lot of wrestlers who can say this, but Sami Zayn is one of those in-ring performers and talents who, realistically to me, I think has transcended in his career, so much so that I mean, it would be great if he had a world title won and he had that moment, but he doesn't necessarily have to have it because he's just so freaking over, and he's done such a phenomenal. He's done his work as both a babyface and as a heel is almost second to none. I mean, Sammy is a future Hall of Famer, like everything he's been doing. And here's the thing too. Look at like Sammy's run of WrestleManias here recently. They're so diverse. Hell, look at last year. He went against Johnny Knoxville, in that no DQ match or whatever. And like, that was fun and entertaining. And here we are now talking about him pretty much in one of the biggest matches of WrestleMania this year, one of the biggest storylines of going into this year's WrestleMania.
Sammy not winning the world title, what we've seen from that is that didn't hurt Sammy. And I think that speaks volumes
about him.
Over Sammy as a character and over Sammy as a performer. He lost the world title to Roman, and it did nothing. Or at least he didn't beat Roman and it did nothing to what his drive and his push with the company has been. That's why it made sense for them they knew they had it with Sammy, and they're gonna have it with Sammy with KO as tag champions.
And it's one of the reasons why this story has been so good, because there has been so many possibilities throughout this entire story, and that's what's made it great. I mean, when you thought they were going one way, they swerved another. I mean, we got to where we, but hook or by crook, we got to where we are.
Yep.
And what essentially looks like it is going to be quite possibly the beginning of, I don't necessarily want to say the beginning, but a huge moment in the downfall of what we know as the bloodline.
I think the bloodline's mostly gone by the end of Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I think it falls apart.
Yep. Completely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So are we all in agreement? Pretty much Sammy and KO are winning the belts.
And new.
And new, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania, bitch.
That's right. I really hope and pray this goes on last on night one. I know, like, I think it was our friend Tyler Wrestles had an interesting TikTok on this saying, well, what if you kick off night 2 with this matchup and then you close, of course, with the main event? That would be interesting.
You do that if you destroy Bloodline at Mania.
I will say this: you're absolutely right, Pauly. If it gets revealed that this is the opener for night 2, then you already know who's winning this matchup, and you already know who's winning the world title. Next matchup. And here we go. Let's get right into it. Your main event for WrestleMania this year. We all know the story. Roman Reigns.
If Roman wins, the internet wrestling community is going to shit a brick.
I think the entire crowd is going to. I think if Roman wins, the entire fucking crowd is going to be completely blown.
They're going to say this is bullshit.
Suck the fucking air out of the arena.
It will look
for all the tack 50 fucking days onto a reign.
It will look like 90s WCW, and the ring will be full of trash.
Probably.
So we may not agree on who's winning this match, although we might, and I have a feeling we do. But can we all just agree that this is going to be like the loudest Cody Rhodes whoa we've ever got? Like, can you just imagine when they hit his theme, like how loud? His entrance is going to be. He could have like his entire song be his entrance. Like it could be that drawn out.
Yeah. I feel like about this. I mean, there's so many thoughts that come to mind about this one, but the main I want to mention here is if you look back in the lineage and the history of WrestleManias, and we've had these main events, especially this run here in the past 10 years, this to me is a truly worthy and epic WrestleMania main event matchup. Like, this is what WrestleMania is all about, is this matchup right here. It writes itself. We all know Cody's story. Undesirable to undeniable. and Roman and what he's done, and the fact that we've got the family lineage against each other here. You've got the Anoa'i family against the Rhodes family. You have Cody and his dealing with like his demons with all of Dusty's kids in NXT, yet he's Dusty's kid. I mean, this shit just writes itself. This matchup is going to be fucking epic on so many levels, in my opinion.
So I think, because a lot of people are split on this match about who's going to win. And I think that the only reason that anybody thinks that Roman is going to win is to hit 1,000 days. And I think that if that is the case, what a fucking waste. Because let's be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, what are we going to be at Saturday or Sunday? 9:45, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody anytime soon is getting close to that record for a title reign. So who really cares whether it's 9:45 or whether it's 1,000? The negatives to Roman winning far outweigh the positives. I think that not only is it right for Cody to win for the fans, I think it's right for business for Cody to win this match.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Roman comes back until at the very earliest SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's later than that.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, the very earliest.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
Series.
I'm going to
go
with...
I think it's closer to Survivor Series.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the wise words that a good friend of mine who just happens to be known as the Wrestle Talk Drip God as well once said, it's okay for it to be predictable as long as it makes sense.
As long as it's logical.
As long as it makes sense.
It might be predictable, but it's sure as shit going to be memorable.
That is right.
Yeah, it is. Just think about the emotions it's going to be if Cody Rhodes pulls this off and wins this championship. I mean, Cheap Pop here, you could check out our Road to WrestleMania special where I talk about this, just saying. But seriously, just his story is just amazing to me, how he goes from, working in the WWE and kind of just being under like his father's, shadow, and then, being a Rhodes, and then with the Stardust character and how terrible that was, and then just going on his own journey, his own path. And the amazing thing is when WWE brought him back, they let him be Cody Rhodes. They didn't make it any sort of facsimile. They didn't make it any to not talk about his past or anything like that. It's like when they brought Cody Rhodes back in, what they paid for was the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the entire presentation. And just that fucking moment to be like just think about that, to be in the shadows of like arguably the greatest mind in the industry in Dusty Rhodes, right? But yet Dusty never was in a WrestleMania main event. He never won the WWE title. Just to have that moment and win that championship, make your father proud as well as carve your own path. Chef's kiss, man. It's going to be one of the most emotional like WrestleMania moments, I think, in history when Cody holds those championship belts up high at the end there in Los Angeles.
Without question.
Could not agree anymore. And I will say this. I said this about this graphic before. I feel like Roman looks like he has to poop in this graphic.
You had to go there.
He has that look on his face.
Tribal chief has to shit.
He has that look on his face like, I have to fart. So
Roman looks like he has to shit. Cody looks like he's constipated. Like he's trying to shit and it just won't come out.
So Cody is the ever professional. He is taking an elegant shit. Like he's just being like polite about it.
Cody just farted and Roman smelled it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But
wise man, I'm finished. Wipe my ass.
Change me, wise man.
Yeah. Hey, let me throw...
Roman's got bidet money. All right, Roman's got bidet money.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, listen. We have a bidet at my house, and I fucking swear by that thing.
Brother,
I don't like it anywhere else anymore.
Life changing.
They really are. They really are.
Too. It's fucking amazing. How the hell are we talking about like the biggest match in like WrestleMania's history, like in the past next 10 years, and we're talking about bidets? Anyway,
listen, more people need to use bidets.
Here's why we're doing it. Here's why we're doing it. and new. Obviously, Cody Rhodes wins. Roman loses. The only thing they might do that might be a little shocking during this match is figure out a way to split the titles. Like run a Cody signed a contract for the title, but only signed it for the Universal title or only signed it for the heavyweight title. And they figure out a way to split the titles.
You do that on Raw after Mania.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I said the only like weird thing they could do is decide to do it there.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
I'm a big fan of that theory. That's kind of what I'm going with.
I think we see the tag title split too. I think we see the tag title split, and I think we see the world title split. I think we have clear world title like contenders to where having two titles makes sense. I feel like if they do what I think they're going to do for SmackDown, which is call Ciampa up and give us DIY again, that gives us believable tag champions on both brands.
Yeah.
And then allows them to build the tag division on both brands. So if you're ever going to do it now, like this is the time to do it. Have Cody be the last person who wins the undisputed, title, and then have Raw split the titles.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to split them too, because I think that after WrestleMania, we're going to get a draft. And I think that we're probably going to get a brand split that is more taken more seriously. I think Triple H was just trying to get through WrestleMania, tie up all these loose ends, get through all of these feuds and all that. But afterwards, we're going to do a brand split. We're actually going to stick to it. People aren't going to be crossing brands. We're not going to be doing that Vince McMahon shit. So I do think that there is going to be some way to split those, because I think we're getting a draft after Mania.
Yeah,
if you keep SmackDown on Fox wants it to be an independent show. And they want to have control over it. And right now, the reason why Fox doesn't like SmackDown as much is because they don't have as much control. Because they're dealing with WWE booking instead of SmackDown booking. So they get to pick and choose who gets to be on TV when, if it's an independent show with its own roster and its own champions, and they get more control over it. And that's how they keep SmackDown on Fox, is giving Fox more control.
No, that's true. One last thing I want to throw out here on this matchup, and this is just my crazy wrestling brain thinking, and I truly don't think this would happen, and I honestly think it would be so much better if we get the Cody moment. But what if the wise man joins Cody and costs Roman the belt? I don't think it'll happen, and I think the other moment would be better, but what the fuck? Like, that crowd would just be like, huh? That's something you didn't see coming.
I think if anybody turns, it makes more sense if you have Sammy KO win the tag titles night one, have the Usos split and have one of the Usos,
that makes
quote unquote cost Roman the title.
I think that the past couple weeks, I think there has been a lot of foreshadowing about Solo, especially in that Goodfellas playoff that they did at the very end. I think that was some foreshadowing.
How fucking good
was that? Which was so good, by the way. That's what I'm saying. It was that Goodfellas skit was, oh my God. Yes. Give me more of that.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it is going to be, I think, a WrestleMania for the ages, and I cannot wait for that main event. All right. We're going to close it up here on our WrestleMania predictions show here. Do any of you have any closing thoughts on this year's WrestleMania?
I had mentioned it in the pre-thing before we started recording.
Oh, you said something about Breigh, yeah.
Yes. Bobby Lashley is going to win the armbar gimmick on SmackDown. Spooky shit's going to happen. We're going to get Bobby and Breigh at Mania.
I don't know. I will say this. I think you'll see an appearance by Breigh, but I think it's going to be in some sort of a segment or something, or maybe after somebody wins or loses a match or something. Like, for example, let's say, I don't know, I'm throwing it out here. Seth Rollins loses to Logan, and then Breigh comes out with the the Wyatt family, Captain Howdy, and all that shit, and does some shenanigans or something. I think I could see something like that happening with Breigh. I think
the fact that Alexa's done with the Masked Singer means that we get the complete Wyatt 6 in some capacity at Mania. We can get all 6 of them. You bring Vincent in, you bring all of them in, and you and you give us the whole fucking thing.
I could see Bobby interfering in Brock and Omos. We've been getting teams for her business for a long time. Brock and Bobby have plenty of history. I could see him coming out and maybe even costing Lesnar and starting her business up again with Omos in it.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley wins Friday. He says he's going to issue an open challenge at WrestleMania. And then out comes Jay White. If Jay White were to debut.
That would be pretty crazy.
Jay White, Bobby Lashley.
Interesting. I don't have any good theories like that, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately, at the end of the day, I can safely say this: out of all the builds for WrestleManias in the past several years, this is the one I probably am the most excited for, and I think it's truly gonna deliver with so many matches that can steal the show. And so many great storylines being told throughout. It's going to be a great fucking 2 days of wrestling. Well, hell, on top of that, it's going to be a great weekend as always. My God, all these shows going on in LA with like the GCW collective shows, your Impact, the New Japan show, Supercard of Honor. The list goes on and on. That's why it is the best time of year. So that being said, Yes, Pauly, I'm playing the Richard Simmons WrestleMania music. So
this music makes me so nostalgic.
Right? Yes.
It really does.
It makes my heart just fill with glee. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for our WrestleMania prediction show. We thank you all for joining us. As always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And thank you to all of you for joining us here tonight. And happy WrestleMania to you all. Until next time, I'm XLJ the OG along with Mr. B-Roll. And a special thank you again for Breigh, Pauly Barrels, Hambone, Husky. You all are amazing, and I cannot wait for WrestleMania. Go!